What's up?
Guys?
We're back.
We are back.
One of the first days where it's not 110 degrees, so we can actually go for a walk.
Not actually 110 degrees, but it feels like it.
Yeah, got Little Butt with us.
The little bit.
Yep. Today's video, we've been getting a lot of requests about just what it's been like to be in an interracial relationship and some of the challenges and some of the, different outlooks on life that we have. So we wanted to make a video about it.
Yeah.
So
let's get started. First thing we're going to talk about is challenges with being in an interracial relationship. Very broad subject.
as y'all probably know, we've been together for 5 years now. I would say at the beginning, we had probably more challenges than we do now, I guess. Or more so, we're still figuring it out. We've been together so long now that we know how to overcome them. And we figured out ways to, just grow, both of us. So, I don't know, I would say, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I would say the main challenges that we kind of went through was, we do live in the South. People here aren't as accepting to an interracial couple, especially when we first started dating.
And there's really not a whole lot of interracial relationships, at least not where we are. So
really just the looks you get from people, the comments, like that. We dealt with that at the beginning of our relationship.
But I would say where we are now, it's something we've just completely accepted and I don't really think about.
Yeah.
And I think that's just because we've been blessed to have a really strong support system around us and good friends and people that really love and care for us and understand.
Yeah.
So
I would say another challenge that we went through was the differences. Obviously, I'm an African-American woman. He's a white male. He's never been in a relationship with an African-American woman before. So just teaching him, having talks with him and talking about police brutality, social injustice and things like that. Those are uncomfortable conversations that need to happen, but it was very pivotal for our relationship with how receptive he was with learning about certain topics.
True. You have to be willing to learn and
exactly
and be educated and Megan has been great. And just helped me understand, learn more. I think the bugs are bad by those trees.
Yeah, they are. Something else I would say that has been difficult. Obviously, there are a ton of stereotypes with being in an interracial relationship.
Oh, yeah.
One for me specifically, I would hear, I don't think to me, so to say, but just interracial relationships as a whole. People will say like the black woman is whitewashed or the black person is whitewashed or whatever. And, I think that's the complete opposite, if I do say so myself. And I just think it's ignorant to say,
Yeah.
just because I'm married to a white man does not mean that I'm whitewashed.
Right.
I'm very much so black and proud. black and black.
Absolutely.
Yes.
As it should be. Now, some of the positives that we've seen, being in an interracial relationship is, we've really, and Megan touched base on this, is really just the blending of I would say, our cultures and of our families and, just learning a lot more about, the black culture and learning more about how, people do things differently and how people see things differently. And it's honestly beautiful. I'm educated. I'm more aware than I ever was before. And like Megan said, I'd never dated a black girl before. So it was all new territory for me, but it was something I was extremely willing to embrace. And I love every minute of it. I'm still learning more. And I encourage anybody out there to, in any situation you're in, just try to learn more, try to see from other people's perspective and try to just form the most positive mindset going forward, because we all live on this planet together, so we got to learn how to coexist and see things from each other's perspective.
Ditto. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
True.
There's plenty of resources. There's books. The internet is very, very, very handy.
Be careful on the internet, but there is some good stuff.
Be careful on the internet, but there are tons of good resources. Yeah.
My shoulder's killing me. All right, what is the third one?
Loneliness is killing me at night. Did she say at night or midnight?
And I must confess,
I still believe. When I'm not with you, I lose my mind. Give me a sign.
Can you tell I'm holding my right arm?
hit me, baby, one more. Yeah, you look like you're bothering me. Like,
Yeah, like, hey,
you're trying to,
real quick,
yeah,
let me...
like, honestly, having a baby, you will realize your
Yeah.
arms, and you always have a specific side, like arm, you know. He's chilling in there. Look at all these guys without their shirts on.
Yep. You playing tennis, man, it gets real.
The next part we're going to talk about is our friends and family, how they reacted to our relationship. My family was extremely accepting.
Here, little guy.
Yeah, my family was extremely accepting. They're already very, very accepting and open in general, but we do have...
yeah, your family's very blended.
Yeah, we have a very blended family, so it wasn't anything new in my family. So it was just another part of the family, and they absolutely adored him.
Man, they brought me in with open arms immediately.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when I went to Thanksgiving at your grandmother's house, and it was just like the most welcoming experience ever. Like extremely good food, and I just felt like family immediately. So that's obviously really encouraging, never being in a relationship before and just being welcomed, you know, so early on. How y'all doing? Yeah, so to her point, you know, her family was super welcoming. All of her friends were extremely welcoming too.
Yes.
You know, I think Megan has actually been in interracial relationships in the past, so it wasn't out of the ordinary for her, you know, kind of circle, but I'm not gonna say it was like rainbows and butterflies the entire time. Unfortunately, there were parts of my family, like my close family, that didn't exactly understand, and they weren't welcoming. It was very upsetting because my initial reaction, because I knew I loved Megan and wanted to spend, you know, the rest of my life with her, was really to just cut people off. But the more, you know, sorry, little butt spitting up a little bit. Like I said, my initial reaction was to cut people off because they weren't gonna, you know, try to be accepting to my significant other. Then, you know, unfortunately I had no place for them. Thankfully, as time went on, they did come around and they started to, again, really see Megan for who she was and stop having such just a negative pre-basis to judge things on. So I am very thankful for that, because things weren't looking very good with certain people at first. So tips that we can offer for anybody that's new into an interracial relationship would be, honestly, Megan.
It will be to not listen to all the negativity around you.
True.
I will say that being in an interracial relationship, our love is very strong because we've had to overcome a lot that would turn a lot of people away. So you just have to be willing to work for your relationship and have to be willing to, you know, have tough conversations with your significant other, be willing to educate your significant other, and your significant other should be willing to accept and listen. And if they don't, they ain't the one for you.
I could not have said it any better. I think communication is key, having those difficult conversations, willing to learn, and I would say just embrace the beautiful thing that is just love. You know, love really has no boundaries, and I think that's what obviously keeps us connected, and that's what has brought a beautiful little baby boy into our world.
Yes.
So we couldn't be happier, honestly. 5 years and kicking. Again, if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them below. Thank you to everybody that has left questions. You know, we try to answer all of them as quickly as we can. If you have any new ones, please leave them below. We'd be happy to respond. And with that, as always, we're going to round this out by saying
peace and blessings.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
So I want to commend you on you having this perfect love that casts out fear, that says, in spite of racism in the United States, that God has called you together, and through your perfect love and through your love for each other, you don't care, you don't give a woo.
Preach.
You don't care about what people are saying and what people are thinking. A few years ago, I did a wedding in Charleston, South Carolina, and it happened to be the wedding of my younger daughter, Jasmine, and her husband, Alex. They're somewhere, maybe they're out there in the back having the baby with the baby. I hope they're not having a baby. They go get a room. But as I was doing my research, I read an article in the Wall Street Journal that said that 50% of all couples who marry beyond, whether they are black or white, but 50% of all couples get a divorce. But the surprising thing was that the interracial couples who marry maintain their marriage for about 80% of the times. And the reason why is because you all understand that this ain't gonna be no rose garden. And that you weigh all the obstacles that may represent some roadblocks, and you understand that people are gonna hate on you no matter what. So I commend you for having allow your love to overshadow and overcome any kind of fear. And Martin Luther King, I think, had a very poignant point. We must learn to live together as brothers and sisters, or either we perish as fools.